Hello, welcome back to Fist Entertainment. Something I teased in the last review, obviously. Because it wasn't on. Well, that's fine. We don't need it. Something I teased in the last review for actually 2 reviews ago for The Hunt from 2020. I was watching one of I think is most underrated, if not the most underrated, vampire series of all time, in my opinion. I figured I'd talk about it, considering the fact that family members are a fan of this particular franchise, especially my dad, and probably his wife as well, or soon-to-be wife, I guess, that's what you would call it. Yes, I'm smoking in the house, sue me. Not that big of a deal. Alright. Well, first off, I will have to say, this was not easy to come by. And it cost me almost $60 to get this. How did it cost that much when it first came out? I have no idea. Now, there's actually 2 versions of this, and there's a little debate. There's a very big debate going on that the version that I have is not the definitive version of it, because of the fact that this TV show was broadcasted in 4:3, 133:1 full frame. Well, I originally watched it like that on Amazon Prime. But people, I watch TV shows and movies theatrically on a big 100-inch theatrical screen. And so when it's in 4:3, it's really not as satisfying as you would think. So I prefer the 16:9 version of this. And this is Dark Shadows, the revival series from 1990 or 1991, starring Ben Cross. This is my preferred version of Dark Shadows. Always has been. Always will be. Why is that, you ask? Well, I'll explain. It's actually very, very, very simple. And I'll even use me as a reference as to why. As you can see, I'm a very, very attractive individual. And though you can't really hear it on camera, because voice as well as the way you look is somewhat manipulated on camera, I have somewhere between a City American and Welsh English unique voice, which allows for me to, just with my voice, I'm kind of dragging you in. Overall appearance, my suits, my clean-cut look, the fact that I'm attractive, brings you in. Well, when you look at Ben Cross playing the role of Barnabas Collins, is very inviting, especially towards the opposite sex. So it makes more sense that you would have Barnabas being somebody who can drag people in, who are more willing to have the life sucked out of them, versus being ugly, not all that attractive, kind of weird and queerish looking. And that's basically what we had with the original Dark Shadows. We have a very queerish, weird looking individual playing Barnabas Collins with Jonathan Fry. And Jonathan Fry, although he made a very, very good Barnabas Collins, of course, in the original soap opera Dark Shadows, the guy is was a very openly, he's dead now obviously, but he was a very openly homosexual. And he also kind of played with that when it came to playing the role of Barnabas Collins on the big screen. And please forgive what I was doing there for a second, people. I'm restarting the computer because I actually prefer having that little extra boost of rejection so I don't have to talk so loud. So I have to restart the computer again because it seems that every time I unplug this microphone and then plug it back in, I have to restart the computer to get it to work. Oh well. But Jonathan Fry always came across me as just weird and bizarre. I mean, played by Jonathan Fry playing Barnabas Collins. Ben Cross doesn't really come across like that. Ben Cross comes across as if you were to cast me as Barnabas Collins, which would actually be a very smart move. I would make a brilliant Barnabas Collins, as well as Nick Knight from Forever Knight and stuff like that, which I may review that show at some point in the future. Although I was always more drawn to the character of Lacroix, which is the villain in TV series Forever Knight. Yeah, I just felt like he was more convincing. He felt more dragged in by him. There we go. It's a wonderful microphone. You know, all dragged in by him, unlike Jonathan Fry. But what's interesting about the Dark Shadows revival series is it took the original Dark Shadows many seasons in 2 movies. I'm not going to count the third film because the third film doesn't really play into the show. The old 1960s, late 50s show. It doesn't really play into it at all. But the first 2 movies did. And what this show did is it actually told the story of every season of the original Dark Shadows in the 2 movies. In 13 episodes, I believe it was 13. Let me go ahead and make sure here. 12 episodes. 12 episodes. It told it all in 12 episodes. And I think the show holds up pretty good. And the plot of it basically is very much like the original show. Basically, you have the New England town known as Collinwood House. People mysteriously die from what appears to be attacks by an animal, which people find out this has to do with a vampire. We figure out that we meet this mysterious guy from England named Barnabas Collins. He says he's a cousin from England to the Collinwood family. Mysterious things start happening, witchcraft, ghouls, all that. Not really ghouls in this one, though. It's just witchcraft. Of course, our main character in the story is not Barnabas Collins. Although the show, this time around, with the revival series, the story revolves around Barnabas Collins, unlike the original Dark Shadows, which does not. But the main character, like in the original Dark Shadows, is still Victoria Winters, the governess from a place far away. But what I like about it is that at the heart of it, this reimagining of Dark Shadows is a romance story. Because the fact that I'm not sure what it is in the original show. I only saw a few episodes of that show and I really didn't like it. This show, I've watched when I was a child when it first aired in the early 1990s. And I've been a fan of it since. It took me forever to track this thing down. I had to order it on Amazon. Like I said, it was like an insane amount of money to get it. But I'm happy enough I could get it. Victoria Winters is basically a reincarnation of Barnabas' mortal love that he had before he turned into a vampire in the 1700s. Which, of course, would be... I can't remember her name. Oh, wow. Can't remember the name. Maybe it'll come back to me. Well, yeah, reincarnation of his mortal love. The love is taken from him. And we, of course, it also plays on what turned Barnabas into a vampire was our villain, Angelique. He was a witch. She loved Barnabas. Barnabas didn't love her. Figured, I can't have you, nobody will. So makes him kill his brother. Turns him into a vampire. Kills everybody close to him. But Josette, yeah, that's right. Josette is the name of the love of Barnabas Collins in the 1600s, which is what Victoria Winters is a reincarnation of. I'm not sure what they did in the show. I actually don't. I was told, actually, take it back. I do know. In the TV show in the later seasons, Victoria Winters did somehow, for time travel means, make her way back to the 1600s or 1700s. I'm not sure. It says 1700s in this particular version of Dark Shadows. I'm not sure if it was in the original version of Dark Shadows, but at some point in the show she goes back to centuries ago and comes across Barnabas when he was not known as Barnabas. He actually had a different name in the original show. I forget what it was. But she goes back there and sees all this stuff unravel. And they do that in this show too, but a lot more interesting. But yeah, this plays really cool. I also really like the perks how it really plays a lot off of the House of Dark Shadows movie, the second movie, in which revolves around Barnabas Collins, for scientific means, gaining his mortality. And then all goes bad and he goes back to becoming a vampire after aging into a extremely 100-year-old man. They have that in the show too. So like I said, it really tells the entire story of the old soap opera in the two TV movies quite well, if in 12 episodes. Quality, like I said, is in 1.78.1, although the beginning credits and end credits to each episode is actually in 1.33.1 4:3 frame. But I do like the fact that the TV show itself has been remastered in 720, which is regular HD, not 1080 HD like you have with Blu-ray, and not obviously 2190 like you have with Ultra HD. But it does have a good picture. It's in widescreen, which means you can really see things really well, and it covers the full screen, which is awesome. But yeah, I really enjoyed this show. And whether you watch it in the original broadcasted version, which is 1.33.1 4:3 full frame, which is a big square in the middle of the screen, or you're watching it in widescreen, it's a good watch, and I definitely recommend it for fans of the original and just fans of vampire lore, period. So that's it for Dark Shadows, the Revival series. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I did this one especially for my dad. I know he'd probably like this review, so this one's for you. And I will see you guys next time for the next review, whatever it is.